Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Um, Looks like everything is running well tonight. So, what's up, Bicycle Dad? IDM7, Patrick, and Rick. What's up, Rick? Uh, Pudgy's here. I was starting to get worried. um, yeah, how's everyone doing? Just me tonight, just a little chat, some bike pics, some Thanksgiving talk. Yeah, some plans for the future talk and all that kind of stuff. Um, right off the bat, Bicycle Dad was asking about the Empire Trail in New York. Me and Aaron and Ben rode that from Buffalo to Rochester and back, so back-to-back centuries. Stayed in an Airbnb in Rochester. So you need to, hey, what's up, Large Marge, Black Ball? Uh, I guess you probably have to be more specific when you say feel safe. If you mean feel safe from cars or feel safe from people. People-wise, you're just going through a bunch of small towns, and you're usually on the other side of the canal from the small towns. That way, we felt completely safe. Leaving Buffalo, there was some road sections, but none of them that made us nervous. Some didn't even have much of a shoulder, but they weren't busy streets, so yeah, we felt safe. Bicycle Dad, I don't know if we're connected anywhere else on Instagram but the New York Times just did a great multimedia piece on the whole Empire Trail. One person wrote it from New York City, like you're talking, all the way to Buffalo, like every single section, and one person rode the north-south. that goes from New York to Canada, and they documented pretty much all about whether it was on trail or road and what parts they didn't like and all that. But if we are connected anywhere, I'm a subscriber to the Times, and it lets me now gift up to like 5 or 10 articles a month. So reach out to me if you aren't a New York Times subscriber, and I could send you a link to that. If you are, I would search that on the New York Times. It's a great article, like tons of information about the Empire Trail. But I really want to do the rest of it, like Rochester over and then down into Manhattan. That's something I think would be awesome. What's up, Dylan? Who else? I saw a couple other people jump in here. Oh, Jay Dandy. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Rich? How you doing? Caw. I can't do that right now. My voice, as you could tell, is a little, I don't know, it's a little off for some reason. But yeah. Oh, Rick said I'm looking a little hot exposure-wise. I felt like it was a little bright. Yeah, I could turn it down at the break. Yeah, COVID cough. Hopefully not. Actually, I think I've done so much cold weather riding that I think that's actually been affecting me. I've had a little bit of a runny nose and a little bit, like, as you could tell in my voice, but I don't think I'm sick. I have no like feelings of being sick. I think it really is just the change in weather and being outside so much. Did actually did 30 miles yesterday with with Aaron and Ben. We did some coffee outside at the Moon Tower in Kent. So yeah, it was a pretty cold coffee outside, but we were prepared. As you could see, they're both wearing their down jackets. I brought mine and have it on while I'm taking this photo. So did like a quick, I don't know, we probably only sat there for, how large you probably know, 15 or 20 minutes before we got back on the road. But it was still fun to get out and do something. You know, try not to let the change in weather, get us down. But yeah, Bicycle Dad, I'm on Twitter. I have Fitzwater Photo and Fitzwater Cycles, both on Twitter. So yeah, if you DM me over there, I could send you a link to that article. Oh, I get your joke, Pudgy. You said no Syracuse highways. So yeah, because we did do a lake loop in Syracuse, and as we talked about, I think on one of the live streams, or was it Tony? Yeah, I think it was Tony who brought it up that this lake loop just kind of ends where you have to go kind of through a central interchange, and it looks like you're going to have no other way to get on the freeway, and you're actually fine. You get around it, but you are on kind of like a state highway for a couple miles, which is not the most fun. But I don't actually think that is. I think if you're doing the Erie Canal Trail or the Empire Trail, that it actually goes through downtown Syracuse the other direction, so you don't actually have to deal with that. Oh yeah, the Discord is a good thing too, Bicycle Dad. If you're interested, if you jump in there, that's where I pull all these photos from. You could post your own photos, and then everyone in there would offer good advice on all that kind of stuff, and it's easy to drop links in there. Uh, Speaking of that, see if there's any drink picks. Oh yeah, Large posted his drink pick for the evening. Let's see, he's got a Rogue Coast Haste Imperial Hazy. Nice. Did Aaron borrow Ben's boots? Aaron, when I looked down at her boots on, yesterday morning, she said she brought out the big guns. So, yeah, that was her quote to keep her feet warm. I think Large actually went in the opposite direction and was wearing was a little undershoed. Is that a word? Under booted. I wore one layer of wool socks in my winter 510s, and my feet still got cold. I think it was low 30s when we left yesterday, so it was a little warmer when I did the Century ride on Saturday. But what's up, Blanky? Uh, I had somewhere I wanted to go next with that stuff. Oh yeah, speaking of, that's what I was thinking. Saturday's ride. Tony dropped this photo from that ride in the Discord. So, do I not have this framed right? Give me 1 second. Uh, Seems like the photo is getting cut off. There we go. Yeah, it's a little better. So it was kind of interesting. So they did a 47-mile ride, like you said in the last stream, and a 30-mile ride. I rode down 47 miles, joined them for the 30-mile ride. But there was a number of accidents and a number of people who broke off, and I started comparing the ride to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I thought they, felt like the Oompa Loompas were going to come out and start taking people away. One was really bad, actually. If you didn't see the video I posted or made about the ride, there's the towpath down near Bolivar is like, it gets a little more, it feels more like gravel riding. It's a little more windy and a little more narrow. I actually really like it, and that was kind of the point of the ride, was to ride the section that most of us up here in the Akron, Cuyahoga Falls area don't ride as much. But there's one little, like, what would it be, like a 20, 30 foot gravel up and down, and there's a boardwalk around it, and Tony said, go this way if you want to, or he said, this is the fun way, and raced over the top of it. And this one guy, who I actually didn't know, raced over the top of it, and when he hit the bottom, he washed out his rear tire, and we didn't know at the time, but it turns out he broke his collarbone, got a concussion, and broke 2 ribs. And just, I think it was just one of those, the way he hit. I'm sure the ribs were his elbow, just going into his ribs. If you've ever fallen, like, washed out, that usually you bruise your ribs at least from your arm. But yeah, it was pretty bad. And he was a slightly older guy. I mean, not like ancient, but older than me. And so, but he looked like he didn't do anything to brace himself for the fall. Like, it happened before he knew it. So it wasn't like a crazy descent or anything like that. He wasn't going that fast. I think it was one of those where, I think we've all done it, where you could just, like, somebody rides clipless or, ride with cages. It could be a stop sign and you could just fall and have, like, the worst accident, where other times you could be going 30 miles an hour. Well, not 30, but, 20 miles an hour, and you kind of roll out of something and you're totally fine. But he maximized his fun. Yeah. That's what Tony said, something about saying that it was the fun way. And I was like, well, it was fun for him till the bottom. But I was actually, Funny Brad was there with me. Me and Funny Brad were right behind the, yeah, not like Rick Gold. Yeah, me and Funny Brad were, like, right behind this guy. And he tried to stay, he stood up. He didn't seem coherent at first. Me and my buddy Gabriel, who was in town, he's in the photo here in the gray right there. We're like really, like, pretty worried, and he wasn't able to get words out. It turns out he had 2 friends, and, like, these friends were doing, like, nothing to help him. Like, I don't even understand. Like, finally one, like, touches him on the shoulders, like, hey, you okay, bud? And it's like, the dude can't even talk. Like, maybe you should help him. Finally, like, me and Gabriel and a couple other people, like, got this guy to sit down on the ground. We were worried he was losing consciousness, which, if you've had a bad concussion, you're not supposed to go to sleep. And finally his buddies walked him off. We gave him all these other solutions, like, let's get him out to the road. We're not far from the road. Someone go get a car and pick him up. These dudes were just absolute idiots. And I want to message this guy now that I know he's injured and be like, I hope you're okay. Get new friends. Your friends are garbage. They're adult babies, like, absolute adult babies. I've never seen such a weak showing by someone's friends after someone has had a clearly bad accident. The guy cannot talk. But yeah, whatever. It was a bummer. But yeah. And then a couple other people kind of turned around because we were going to do a pretty serious climb on the country roads. But it was really cool. The ride turned out awesome. They planned a really great route. Like I said, I got like 15 miles of roads I've never ridden, but some of the roads even are the towpath down there and some of the gravel trails. We went over a couple dams, a couple cool bridges through a historic town. really well planned ride, really cool route. And then me and Funny Brad rode all the way back, and I ended up with 130 miles. So yeah, by far the not by far, but the longest ride I've done, and the longest ride I've done in a couple years. So what did Patrick say? That's happened. His friend Jess sprained her hand falling from a standstill on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, I know, like any accident, could just falling off your bike, you're still falling from, if you don't get anything down, you're still falling from what, 3 feet off the ground. So it's just really weird to watch like people not like have any sense of how they should be handling something. Like there was a period where like there was one of our friends who is a physician's assistant. When we went to get him off the bike, he was like, no, hold him by his hips and helped him off the bike. And then as soon as he got off his bike, the friends like didn't hold him, and the guy looked like he was gonna fall, and a couple of us had to like jump in there to grab the guy. It's just like, what are you guys doing? Like I still don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it, but I wish I would like to find some pictures of those guys. If I ever see them again, I could tell them that they're pieces of trash, because they are. They are bad human beings. You got to take care of your people. I swear to God, if he pulls up a map. Yeah. How could you go out with your buddy and then when he like has a bad accident not take care of him? Whatever. Me on the other hand, like last Wednesday when I ate a weed cookie, drank a couple beers, and then rode off a little 1-foot bridge and fell down. That's on me. You know? But yeah, it was the Oompa Loompa aspect, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, besides this guy aspect of like, okay, I've kind of had enough, and breaking off was fun. But then it was cool to go back to the brewery and get to hang out and have some chats and all that. So oh yeah, the other thing going on, I spent all day. I bought some stickers, and I bought them in, had them made in sheets. Come on, this was focusing before I came on, and now it's going to fail me now that I'm on. Yeah, they're a little darker than that. The lights are, like Rick said, kind of hot. These are the big ones. These are almost bumper sticker size. But I actually like the smallest ones. We did 3 different sizes and 4 different colors in each. There's like a medium one, like a laptop style size one. But I like the little ones because these are the ones that'll actually, you could put on the tubes of your bike, like top tubes, down tubes. So yeah, if you're a channel member and you're not local and I don't have your address, send it in the Discord. I'll send a couple of these out. If you're not, they're going to be pretty cheap. So they will. What I think I'm going to do to keep it simple is since there are the small and the medium ones, I'll just do them as 4-packs for like, $4 or $5, and just keep it simple. And then the big ones, I'll calculate the price for those, and those will just be one off, and you could pick the color. But yeah, I started to build out the e-commerce site because we have t-shirts and bandanas that'll have a different logo coming soon. Pudgy asked about caps, which I would like to do, but I'm just going to start with these first. Let me pull up the picture of what the bandanas is going to look like. It's kind of the same logo, but like a cool, different color. If I could remember where I put that. There it is. Yeah, so the bandanas, this is a GIF Micah who designed these made for me, but it'll actually be the pink, not the yellow. So it'll be the pink with the yellow background. We were deciding between the two, but yellow bandanas usually don't look too good. So yeah, we'll go that route. And then the t-shirts, well, this is just obviously the sketch. Will look like something like that, so a different logo too. But yeah, so the stickers are all here. They're in-house. They'll be up for sale. Members will get some for free. Shirts and bandanas will do pre-orders. And there'll be a discount code for members on the shirts and bandanas if you're. So I'll drop that in the member section of the Discord and the community page on YouTube. So get my sales stuff out of the way. But I really do think what Micah came up with this. He sent me this like I think like a kind of a similar graphic in the sometime late last summer, and then we were riding the other day, and I was like, we need to meet up and talk about those. That is such a great idea. So we kind of finalized everything. But oh, that's what I'm hearing is Discord notifications. Yeah. All right. I see that you made it in there, Bicycle Dad. Awesome. Oh, hey, what's up, traveling through? Jay Dandy, yeah, the whole put some dirt on it and keep pedaling, talking about the guy who was injured. That's what me and Brad, Funny Brad, were trying to determine. Were his friends like ill equipped mentally to deal with someone, or were they like, was it like a tough guy? Like, yeah, come on, get back up and pedal. I was like, oh, don't touch him. That's gay. Like, I just couldn't tell what they, I just think they were stupid, but I could be wrong. They could be like, yeah, just pedal your bike. But yeah, traveling through, I just watched your latest video again right before I came on. The one you posted, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, though. That hike in Arcadia with those steel rungs or the iron rungs, whatever they that you like climb up the rocks was amazing. Like I totally want to do that. I'm like I said, I'm leery of heights in a way there. I could get up places, but wouldn't want to go back down. But from what you were saying, you're only supposed to go up and then kind of circle back a different way. I would love to do that. If you guys haven't, if you guys haven't seen traveling through his videos, the ones that his trip to Maine and uh, uh, the New Hampshire, right? Pretty sweet. But glad you guys are saying you like the sticker design. Yeah, I think they're really cool. So yeah, and speaking of Rick saying he'll take one, I'm actually on Monday heading to Philly, so I could actually drop off a couple for you, Rick, in person. And traveling through, I keep meaning to DM you, and I need to do it, but I will. I think a week from tomorrow is the day that I'll probably have fairly free in Philly. Um, get in on Monday. Probably just gonna hang out with my buddy Eric because he lives in Boston now. We don't get to hang out much. I don't know what exactly we're gonna do. We'll probably get in late afternoon. Probably go out to a bar. Tuesday we're seeing Bob Dylan, and and then Wednesday I have kind of Wednesday in the air. I'm gonna bring a bike. I looked at the weather. I know it's way too early to judge what the weather will be, but it looks like it's gonna be um, able to ride. So I'd love to ride around Philly a little bit. You know, go grab some food, see some of the sights and all that kind of stuff. But oh, Pudgy said the R is silent. It's Arcadia, not Arcadia. Gotcha. Noted. I'll forget that, but noted for the rest of this stream at least. Arcadia. Arcadia. Oh, there isn't an R in the word. It's the R is not silent. There is no R. I don't know why. I've always, if someone asked me to spell Arcadia right now, I would type it ARCH. I don't know where I get that from. Oh, Rick was saying traveling through his video made him poop himself a little. Yeah, it looked intense, but the view looked absolutely worth it. Rick, yeah, I'm seeing Blackball. I'm seeing Dylan. Um, I can't remember the name of the place in Philly. It's a theater style show. You know, it's a big theater. Um, yeah, I can't think of the name of the place. Me and Eric were looking for somewhere. He played in Cleveland already, but we were looking for. Eric's in Boston, but he's coming home for Thanksgiving. So this way, I'll drive us to Philly we'll hang out for a few days, see the show. Then Eric's just going to hop on a train, go back to Boston, and then I'll drive back. We were talking about taking a train the whole way, and I know some work with bikes, but I just figured it's not that far. I could bring my bike. Then we have a car if we need it, which I don't think we will once we're there. When I visit a city, the only time I drive my car is usually to move it if there's trash restrictions or whatever. But oh, hey, what's up, Obsolescence? He said he does the Arcadia thing too. Yeah, I don't know where I get that from. Is there a different place called Arcadia? I don't know why I got that in my head. I've just always read it that way. Strange. Oh, traveling through said the Arcadia about Arcadia. Um, it's the baddest trail on the island, closed most of the year due to peregrine falcon nesting. Huh. That's a good thing to keep in mind, because if that's the one you want to, yeah, to look at the time of year. But yeah, you gave me some good information about that. How there was a while where people were trying to build the craziest hiking trail you could. Yeah, that that looks beautiful. And I think we are talking about when I had Columbus Brad, Flavortown Brad on. He had just come from that area. It was raining when he was there too, and I know traveling through like later in your main trip you got some rain, but I think that kind of affected his plans more than it seemed like affected yours. Oh, there's an Arcadia in California. So that might be where I'm getting it from. Huh. Blackball asked me my favorite Dylan record. Um, I mean, I'm definitely you know, the '60s era Dylan stuff, like before the motorcycle crash, as everyone says, is definitely my favorite stuff. Uh, could I name a favorite Dylan record anymore? I don't know because they're the first three have kind of a similar folky sound, and then you get into the more electric stuff. I kind of like it all for its own merits, but it's definitely the 1963 to 1966 where he put out just a bunch of great records. That's the era of Dylan I really like. There's some 60s and 70s stuff I dig, and then the more modern stuff. I think the last 10 years, or even more than that, ever since what Modern Times and the one before that, I've dug his really modern stuff and his really old stuff. Uh, I don't care much for late 70s, 80s Dylan, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure my favorite Dylan record changes from time to time. I've always been a big fan of Highway 61 Revisited, but that one's always going to be in my top three, I'm sure. Arcadia Driftwood, the band. Jay Dandy said, I've never heard of Arcadia Driftwood, so I wouldn't be getting it from there. But we had a peregrine falcon on yesterday morning when we were riding down the Freedom Trail come right over our shoulder and fly into the woods. And as we were, if you weren't here yet, as well, got a bug in here, as Large Marge made the comment that the falcon was after Aaron's boots. So we also saw that same day we saw a hawk uh, have a squirrel and actually lose grip of the squirrel, and the squirrel ran away. So yeah, a lot of bird of prey action for late fall yesterday out on the bike trails. So I didn't even know the wallflowers still played, Rick. The wallflowers were just in Asbury Park, so not that I really have followed the wallflowers since, man, when did they have their hit songs like One Headlight? Bob Dylan's son, for anyone who's not, Jacob Dylan is the singer of the wallflowers. Man, that was had to be late '90s. Yeah, but no reason I never. I mean, I just don't pay attention to them. But Patrick said the first four Dylan albums are his faves. Soft spot for desire as well. IDM7 really wants my opinion on this. If Freddie Mercury raced the kid from The Shining on his tricycle, do you think the kid would lap him? um, is the kid from The Shining fast? Isn't the kid from The Shining slow on the tricycle? I'll be honest. I've seen The Shining twice, and both times I was really buzzed, and in college, and I remember the kid on the tricycle, but I don't remember how fast he is. I would assume Freddie Mercury could smoke that dude, but hey, what's up, Molnar? That's what gets her to comment. Yeah, this is a thing we've talked about. Me and Aaron making a video about winter riding together because I think a number of videos to make with Aaron would be interesting because she has a different perspective because she hasn't ridden as long as most people. Like she got into riding later in her adult life, but this is her first winter riding, and so I thought there's a couple interesting videos to make. We were talking about one being the cold weather thing, because um, like when we rode down to Bolivar on Saturday, I think we were probably about 30 miles in when she really started to feel it. And like again, 30 miles would be a time where a bonk could happen, but like she said, she was eating. She felt like she had dressed right, like she wasn't cold. And I think she said she brought like electrolyte mix in her water. So that doesn't seem like, and 47-mile ride shouldn't be something she's not capable of. We did a lot of centuries this summer and rides in the 50s all the time. But then even when we went to Kent the other day on the way back with 30-mile round trip, she was starting to tire out at the end. And like I said in the video, I know I get really tired, like tired faster when the weather's down in the 20s, even if it's like not you're not pushing through snow, just going out and riding. Like it feels harder to breathe. Like you're burning more energy. You're in clothes that are not as aerodynamic. Not that I ever really dress like a roadie, but yeah, I just think it's interesting that the cold weather is definitely affecting her, even when she doesn't feel cold. We did read a little research that says like the air is actually more dense, and um, the aerodynamic drag of colder weather is actually extremely noticeable, or you can be measured like to an extremely noticeable weather scientific effect scientifically. Whatever, those are a bunch of jumbled words, but I think it makes sense. They say cold weather affects the density of air more than humidity, which surprised me. You think water droplets are going to be the biggest thing, but I think it'll be an interesting thing to explore more and more as she rides more into the weather. So, oh, was it a big wheel? So in The Shining, the kid's riding a big wheel, not even a tricycle. So, oh yeah, I forget that. I don't forget, but Pudgy is from that part of the country originally. Jay Dandy said cold weather slows him down and shortens his rides. Yeah, I always thought I was being more limited by my temperature. Like I could stay fairly warm, but I found like if the temperature is below, say, I want to say about 28. It takes me every winter to relearn the right exact. I dial it in better and better every year, but it takes me a little longer. Every year it's always like still a learning curve of getting used to what to put on in each temperature, even though you have the idea. I find that below 28, I'm mostly limited by my feet. But then, it starts to snow, and then that throws off like how far you could ride. Because, if you're riding with even 6 inches of snow on like a trail, 10 miles feels like 15, I've always found. But I think, yeah, from reading like what we were reading, like the science is that the cold weather really is affecting you. You're burning more calories for sure just to stay warm. And then that density of the air thing, too, I guess, which is just really interesting. Aaron said, "There's no reason those rides should have ruined her like they did. It's a little discouraging, but very curious." Yeah, so like she's like to that point, we both like kind of independently then started reading articles about why the cold affects you. But the one I was reading was like a full-on roadie article about the air density. So it was like really this does, they're saying this really does affect, it's not in your mind. If you feel like you can't push through as fast as you normally would, it is a measurable. They were maybe Aaron could pull up that stat we were talking about, but it was some kind of God, there's one fruit fly in here. It was some kind of like 10% stat for a number of degrees where there was 10% more drag, and as anyone who rides a bike knows, like that's a lot of drag, So Dylan asked Aaron if she's going to get studded tires for the Bombora. I've been talking to Aaron about this a little bit. I was saying we need to find her kind of like a cheap mountain bike that we could turn into a winter bike. I was just saying, is the Bombora being her forever bike? I don't know if she wants to drag it through the snow and the salt and the grime. That's obviously totally up to her. And as long as she's got a place where she can rinse off her bike, and if you take care of them, like it's not like you can't ride your, you know, normal bike in the winter. But like, I don't like the idea of riding my rally when it's really crappy out, which is why I still go back to my old Trek mountain bike. But it's also why I got the Surly corner bars, so I could have the feeling of drop bars without investing in a road group set for an old bike. So that's the same thing I was thinking for Aaron, is some kind of alt bar, whether it be like the crazy bar or the corner bar, so we could just find some kind of old mountain bike, because Aaron hates flat bars, or has the couple times she's ridden them. So yeah, I think it'd be fun to build her up something that is like dedicated to the snow, because now that she's ridden down in the 30s, low 30s, and done 30 miles, even though she ended up really tired, I think she could go even colder than that. But oh, come on, don't bother me with that now. Windows. Like you said, effing roadies will look for every excuse other than them for why they are slow. More high calorie foods for sure. Yeah. I guess, I'm trying to think. Unless it's like cold and dry, I usually don't go for really long winter rides. But again, I said I'm kind of limited on like my feet. No matter what I do, I'm like, if it's in the 20s, my feet just get cold after an hour. So it's kind of like when we do our group rides, we usually do an hour, stop somewhere, God damn it, warm up a little bit, and then go back out. So 2 hours with a break. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like a long, just like roadie style ride. I guess I'll do like maybe 40 miles once in a great while when it's cold out and dry. But I'm so used to the snow being like one of the things that is really making me feel tired, and knocking down your average, pace to like 8 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, right? Summit Perry has a showroom of winter bikes. Yeah. And Pudgy said cold water taxes pretty much all aspects of riding. Physically cold, bottles freezing, electronics dying quicker, lungs getting hit harder. Yeah, for sure. Bottles freezing is a big deal. When we ride in the low 20s, you don't have very long at all. I don't have any insulated bottles, which is stupid, but yeah. And I tend not to drink enough water either, which slows you down then, because you're not staying hydrated as you should. But Dimitri said he's just gone to wearing hiking shoes in the cold with flat pedals. And Large was telling me too about yeah, I think it's just they're not riding. They're just some boots he really likes that keeps his feet warm. And I think I need to invest in something like that too. My 510s with like a liner wool sock and then a thick wool sock, and they're winter 510s, waterproof, kind of insulated, you know, will keep me comfortable for a while, but I do still like to ride in like the real cold stuff. So I do need to find something better than what I am riding in. Yeah, Aaron, you'll have a huge the benefit you'll feel of not stopping if you even ride way less miles in the winter, but just still get out once in a while makes such a difference. When I didn't used to ride in the winter, I remember even getting on my bike in the spring, I was back to being like sore in the saddle for a couple weeks, you know. Well, I got used to just sitting on a bike again. And so it's so nice not to have that be a thing at all. Uh, Pudgy said he just picked up two 38-ounce thermoses for long winter riding. Yeah, I guess I do have thermoses. Maybe I just need to get a bottle or see what fits in my bottle cage. I've never even really thought about it. They're probably heavy though. I think they're yeah, most of my thermoses are like vintage glass lined style. I do have those. What's that brand that's so popular now? Like from parties I've been to, I have some Yetis. I wonder if those would work. But I guess those would splash. The lid does have a. Do I have any with this? I'll have to look. But yeah. Nicholas said winters for riding fixed. Man, it's a little snowy around here for that. I mean, I wouldn't ride my single speed in the snow, but I also, like I said, we've talked about this before. I watched videos of people riding like messenger style, like fixed gear track bikes in New York City. I don't know how they do it. Like before I had studded tires, I would be like falling all over the place, and that's when I actually gave up on winter riding until Otis at Dirty River convinced me to get some 45 North Grabdales, and they changed everything. And then I'm like, oh, I can ride in this and actually have a lot of fun out here. But Dylan said hand warmers in the shoes. And me and Aaron were talking about this too. And they even make the toe ones. I don't have a toe box big enough for those. Like, I could get away with the double wool socks. The problem with the hand warmers is and exactly what Aaron was saying, they need air to work appropriately. So, unless you have a shoe with or a boot with a big enough toe box, they won't end up doing anything. So, you need the right shoe for that too. Traveling through city requires tons of food. Kind of annoying. Same with when he drinks. Dimitri says he rode to work last winter, only hit black ice once. Yeah, and I'm like I said, the studded tires. I mean, like ice, like super like slick ice is ice, you know. But like the bike trails, you know, if there's a little bit of snow, that's enough to give you traction. And then with the 45 North, we went out onto a couple times a like little ice skating rink thing, not a man-made one, so we weren't riding out onto the downtown style ice skating rink, but in the parks at night. There's a little bit of snow on it, but we were riding around on an ice skating rink with the with studded tires, and we were fine. But Lanky said they make ski boot warmers. Nice to warm up shoes before you go, but it cools quickly. Yeah. Nicholas said he likes riding fixed in the snow, mad skids. And I guess there would be an element of control to that as well, right? Just like I don't know. I feel like my car now is a stick, and I feel like I have more control in the snow with the manual, you know. And I think it probably the same thing with a fixed gear bike applies in a different, but you know, kind of moderately similar way. Pudgy said Grabdales are rad, but getting sketchy is fun too. Yeah, I didn't enjoy getting sketchy. I didn't enjoy feeling unsafe. But again, as you guys know, I ride everywhere I go. I rarely put my bike in the car. So I'm not like driving down to a bike trail where maybe if once I was on the trail, it wouldn't bother me as much. You know, the first snow ride video I posted where it snowed, I was just riding the Raleigh and Aaron was just riding the Bombora. No one had studded tires. But the ground was still so warm that even when the snow did start to, you know, pile up a little bit, you're still like, you know, the rubber tires are still contacting the pavement under there. And there's that kind of snow, like a wet snow too, that I am fine on normal tires. It's more like being on the roads to get there, where the roads here, like they just get slushy or they get plowed in a certain way. And then on the bike trails, you might hit the low spots where there are the puddles that freeze, you know. But I love the peace of mind of studded tires, even when they're slowing me way down on the road, you know, because it's like I'm out here because of these. And when I'm riding in the winter, like we're kind of saying, everything to me is a bonus. Like I'm getting out like bonus miles. I feel like, so yeah, and that's a good Dimitri's point there about make sure your shoes aren't too tight. Like my 510s, I ordered a size or a half size up from what I normally wear, knowing that I was going to have extra socks or thick socks, and also I lace my shoes in the winter extremely loose, like as loose as they will go. You know what I mean? So there's air in there because insulation it goes for almost anything. If there's not a gap of air to warm up, you're doing nothing. Like a lot of people do that where they pack all the socks in their shoes, but if you just pack them in, they're basically having no effect. Yeah. Erin said she had two car accidents from black ice, so some PTSD from it. Yeah, I think like something, Erin, too. Like since you haven't done it yet, like one besides the ride, the warm mid 30s and snowy, would be to like go towpath south because one of the things too when it's like the crushed limestone pass with snow on it, you feel a lot more comfortable. There's just more traction on that kind of situation. You know, ice on pavement is the worst thing there is. And Jay Dandy said, yeah, winter riding miles are bonus miles. And I do like, as I've mentioned and made videos about, have a trainer here now, but I would always, if it's just cold, I would always rather be outside. If it's just snowy, I'd almost always rather be outside. To me, like I've said a million times, the trainer is for cold and rainy. Like I just, no desire to be outside in the cold rain. Like I don't, you know, I 38 and rainy to me is the worst weather that exists. So, and then just time wise, say you just want to do something really quick. It's really everything in the winter takes so long, like getting ready, deciding what you're going to wear, packing your bags in case you're going to stop somewhere. It's just sometimes it's a real hassle. It can be a real hassle to ride in the winter. Um, so that's what I like the trainer for. There's stuff like, or a couple years ago when I first got it, it was Christmas Eve, and like I had like an hour and 45 minutes before I needed to leave the house, and to jump on the trainer for 45 minutes and take a shower and get ready and leave. I wouldn't have had the time to get ready and go out. It wouldn't have been worth it to get out and ride at 8 miles an hour, So stuff like that. But I think I missed a couple other comments in there. Pudgy said, "Is that if anyone is free on December 4th in the Columbus area, Grove City's Christmas parade has a bike section that could use representation." Cool, yeah. Hit up Pudgy in the Discord if you could make it up, or DM him on Instagram. Pudgy? Have you ever tried? I don't. I mean, we've never talked about this because we've had no reason to. We usually talk about bike stuff or music or where we're traveling. But have you ever tried a smart trainer with Zwift? And I don't know if you're a gamer at all, but like I've said about Zwift, and this is what I made my video about. I never thought I would ride a trainer. Period. I was like, I just won't ride my bike. But I've talked to a bunch of people about this. Like, Zwift is basically like a video game where you're putting in the effort. And I'm not even personally that much of a gamer, but it actually adds an element of fun to it. But you're getting a workout and you're basically playing a video game. I wouldn't ride a dumb trainer. I know I wouldn't. I would pedal that thing probably 3 times in my life and then it would sit in the corner. But with stuff like Zwift, I actually find it enjoyable for a while. And I step off the thing like I've got usually one of the hardest workouts of my life. But it's not what I want to do all the time. But in the winter, I could definitely get a kick out of it. It's definitely it's definitely different. And I was talking to a guy on the Yetis on the Loose ride who I would have to guess was, man, maybe pushing 70, and he was kind of saying the same thing. He was like, man, I was a roadie. I used to ride on rollers. That was an absolute nightmare. I didn't enjoy a second of it. He was like, the way smart trainers and Zwift are is actually like an enjoyable experience now. So Dimitri asked anyone planning to do the festive 500 outdoors. So last year I did the entire Festive 500 indoors, which for me was kind of a challenge in a different way. The weather was bad. I didn't have a lot of time. The weather was really bad. It was very rainy and cold. And so like I was just trying. It was the first year you could do the Festive 500 indoors because of COVID. They changed the rules. But so I just thought I was going to get my first couple rides indoors, and then I challenged myself to do it all indoors as like ridiculous challenge just to do. But so, Dimitri, yeah, my goal this year is no matter what to try and do the entire Rafa Festa 500 outdoors. So it's 500 kilometers. So what is that? 320 miles between Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So yeah, my goal this year is to try and pull that off entirely outdoors. So no matter what the weather does. Aaron, you can post a picture of the cats. Just post them in the Discord. Oh, Rick posted these warm weather Neos 15-inch adventure all season waterproof overshoes. So you wear your regular, you would wear some like tennies underneath that basically. I'm wondering how I would do with like overshoes or like big boots because my feet rub on the cranks. Like my heels must go inward and they rub on the cranks even in like regular in my Vans, but definitely worth looking into. Not crazy priced either, 75 bucks. I'm way behind in the chat on my. Oh, Erin said she was thinking of the festive. She has the week off. Yeah, so the whole weather thing in Northeast Ohio, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate where you guys are too. And it's only gotten worse, obviously, with global warming, but it's just completely unpredictable. Like it could be anything. You know, uh, we've had the week between Christmas and New Year's with temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We had a Wednesday night, our Ratsmas ride, one year where we were wearing like short sleeve T-shirts for our Christmas ride, and then there's been other. Then I think it was 2 years ago where it was like 19 degrees. So the spread is immense. So to try and plan ahead for the Festive 500 is almost undoable. But like you said, Zwift is stupid. Never gotten a power up during a ride. You don't have to use power ups if you don't want to. It's like anything. I mean, Pudgy said he has tried Zwift and they're cool, but there isn't a trainer on the market that will allow for a heavy, aggressive rider 250 plus. Trying to remember what the mine's not one of the most mine's a cheaper smart trainer, but I thought the specs allowed for a decent amount, but yeah. Dylan said just looked at prices for the 45 North tires, $400 for a 27.53 inch. Wow, that is expensive. Mine were about $100 a piece, but they're only 2.3s, 2.1s, somewhere in there. But yeah, much cheaper. Jay Dan, he said he might try the festive this year. Dimitri said he kind of wants to see if he can manage the festive 500 outside and on the single speed. Yeah, that would be nuts. Yeah, and Pudgy too, you were saying you haven't found the trainer that works for you as well, but you also don't mind the cold weather at all, really, from what you've shown. And then you're even though Columbus is only an hour and a half south of here, you guys get considerably less snow because you don't get the lake effect that we get up here. So, as you may, bonjour from Paris. What's up? One of the coolest places I've ever visited. So, I've seen him inflate his own tire in those boots. Obsolescence said there are neoprene overshoes for under 20 bucks. I was thinking about something like neoprene overshoes and looking into that, like if something would work um, like that for me. Traveling through said just picked up some Gore-Tex socks. Haven't tried them yet. Bet they suck. Yeah, I've never tried. Yeah, I've never tried any kind of weatherproof sock. Um, Always gone with the wool, but yeah, Pudgy said even when he was in Maine and he rode year round, it's a change of scenery and terrain, and he welcomes it. I do for a while too. Like I like those first few 30 degrees snowy rides. Nobody else is out, and me and Large and our group of friends go riding down the towpath. It's a lot of fun. After a while, I'm completely sick of it, and I just want to ride how I want to ride without, like I said earlier, worrying about all the effort that goes into getting dressed and you know what tires you need, what bike you need, all the kind of stuff. I just want to ride the bike I want to ride at the way I want to ride it. But yeah, I agree. There is a while where, like I said, there's a novelty to snow for a little while. As I get older, it wears out quicker and quicker. I try not to let it get me down, like whatever that expression is. If you hate the snow or whatever, you'll still be cold and snowy, but upset. Like trying to embrace the seasons as much as I can, and try and ride outdoors as much as I can. Like I said, I do like Zwift. I would never touch it in the summer, fall, spring, but in the winter, I don't mind getting on and pounding out some miles that way. So one thing, Dylan, I would say about the man, $400 no matter what is eye watering for tires. The thing I would say is, and maybe Large remembers, I must be going in on the third or fourth year on my 2-inch Grabdels, and they are like, I need to replace a bunch of the studs. But even riding them on days where there's not a lot of snow on the ground, like riding them on the concrete, like they've still got a ton of life left in them. They barely look like they've worn out. Um, so if you're going to have them on a bike that you're mostly using when it is snowy, or you're able to do a change in wheel sets, they're going to last you, I think, a long time. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. 5, 10 years probably, especially with the 3 inches. Yeah, so $400 seems steep. It seems really steep. I would have a hard time spending that, but I feel like it's a purchase that, yeah, just lasts. It's going to last a long time. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how much snow you guys get in Columbus. Like, it seems like it has to be a big front coming through the state. Up here, we just get, if the weather turns and comes directly from the north, we just get snow from Lake Erie, so we tend to get more. But last winter, I think I did like I said, I did the entire Rafa Festive 500 on the trainer. That ended on New Year's Eve. And then I think I only got on the thing 3 or 4 more times. We had some, we had a little bit of snow in February. That was actually nice to ride in. But our winter ended up turning out being mild enough that I was able to get outside enough between the rain. So, say it was raining on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'd make sure I went out and rode on Thursday and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's so hard to judge like what you should spend your money on winter stuff in in Ohio, So, hey, what's up, Mateo? He said cycling noob and wanted to do a bike tour in northern France next summer. He only has a vintage road bike with clearance for 25s. Should that be fine for a small tour? Man, I mean, personal opinion is I don't want to ride on 25 millimeter tires anywhere. that's just that's just like my opinion. The narrowest tires I have on anything anymore are 28s, and they feel narrow, and that's not even on a loaded bike. But maybe because there is, I I know I'm probably not good with this pronunciation, but Adjumé is from Paris, might know better. Um, when I was in northern France, we didn't ride at all. So like road conditions, I can't let you know what they would like. The country roads in northern France would actually how rideable they are. I was there for Paris Roubaix, which has those crazy brutal cobbled sections, and I can't imagine being on 25s. But I'm sure planning a tour you can avoid cobble brutal roads like that. Um, I would you can make anything work. 25s just don't sound very comfortable for being on a tour. I would want something with a little more cushion. Um, but yeah, anything will work. I mean, me and Large used to go do gravel riding on my Viscount that used to back then had 28s, and he was riding his fixie on. So you could do anything you want. Um, I would try and get. I would even try and. I mean, I would find a cheaper vintage bike that you could clear wider tires on, or even on yours if you can, convert down to a smaller wheel size, so you could get wider tires on there is also a good thing. But oh, thanks. I missed your compliment. Thanks for complimenting the channel. I appreciate it. But I've been talking to Erin about that. She really wants to get back to France, and so do I. Uh, and we've been talking about maybe going during the tour next year. Of course, all that depends on money and global pandemics, and money to me is always a big issue. Time away from work as a freelancer is hard to pull, and I don't always have enough money to travel to Europe. And especially if traveling takes off again next year, it might be expensive, but I would love to be riding my bike around France. I was actually thinking about more of the south of France, Provence area, because we went to Paris, then we went up to see Paris Roubaix in the north of France by Lille and Roubaix, obviously, and then we went down to Provence, and I absolutely love Provence, and I would love to do a bike tour down that way. I know it's always windy, but it's always windy here, so I'm kind of used to that. Like you said, 25 millimeter setup tubeless would work. Yeah, that would definitely tubeless would be a good idea because then you could run not much lower, but you could run lower pressure. That's the problem with 25s is you're just going to be kind of getting, well, I mean, if that's what you're riding, you know what it feels like. It also depends on if you're trying to credit card tour or actually camp, how much you're going to have on your bike. Um, like when I was talking about maybe touring around France a little bit, I'd definitely be looking to book Airbnbs and bed and breakfast, not carrying like tents and all that kind of stuff either. So, oh, Dylan asked about the Schwalbe. I always want to say like the bakery. 26 by 2.1. Are they $300 now? Really? Because mine got to be 2.1s. Let me grab them. Let me see what I got. Just while we're talking about it. Yeah, maybe large for members. I just don't remember paying that much for these tires. Maybe I did. So these are, where is it? 45 North Gravdales. These are 26 by 2 inch. And yeah, wired bead, 216 steel carbide studs, 33 TPI casing. But you can see they're not the most aggressive tire, but they are, had focus there for a second, fairly, come on, fairly aggressive. There we go. I'll just pull it back. So yeah, fairly aggressive tires, but just must be more expensive than when I bought them. Or maybe I didn't buy them at the end of the year to get a good deal, but I don't know. Maybe I paid more than I thought I did. Maybe they are $150 tires. To me, they're just entirely worth it because they keep me on the road. Like I said, I just would not be on the road in the snow without them. So whatever they cost now, would I invest in these again at $300? I probably would. The the tires would be more expensive than everything else on the bike. Well, like I said, the corner bars on there now are more than anything on the bike. But is it piddle time? What time is it? Oh, 10:03 it is. Hey, what's up, Tony? Oh, Mateo said Provence is beautiful. Make sure to tackle Mount Ventoux. That's definitely something I want to do. I would love to ride Ventoux, but oh, Chris said we'll take the pedal break in a minute. I'll get through the comments and then we'll take a little break because I need another beer anyways. Um, oh, now I did that and lost my space. Oh, he said where was that? Blackball toured Cuban 25 Vittorias. Huh. I was saying too, I have 30 millimeters on the Barry Hoban, the bike I built on the stream last year, and those actually are WTB. Um, they're WTB road tires with tan walls, and they actually feel really supple. I don't think I would want a loaded, like a full load on them, but yeah, I was surprised at how supple they feel. So, but that's still a big bump up from 25. So, yeah, Tony, I was showing some of your photos early on and talking about the ride a bit, how awesome it was. Yeah, Pudgy said the wise winter cyclist shops in the summer. The best time is at the end of the winter, and even local bike shops. You know, they, you know, your local bike shop is going to want to clear that stuff out. So get ready for the next season. Oh, Dylan was saying my tires are 90 bucks. Must be a sweet spot in manufacturing or something. Interesting. Oh, yeah, then maybe that's what most people want, just a higher production value. Oh, Aaron was saying I talk about Ventoux all the time. Yeah, didn't they? Well, yeah, last year's tour they did a double Tour de France. They did a double ascent of Ventoux. So, yeah. This year they're doing Alpe d'Huez though in the tour, and I would love to go out there and ride Alpe d'Huez and then watch the race go by. So, but all right, let me grab another beer. Um, thanks again. Thanksgiving coming up, and here's a thanks to the members that's about to pop on your screen. But really, genuinely, thanks. But thanks to everyone. Like I think I do some voiceover, some dumb voiceover in this thing where I thank everybody. But yeah, you out, Mateo? All right, see ya. I'm glad you stopped by. Uh, yeah.
I just want to take a quick moment during this break to thank our channel members. Their financial support really does make it possible to do this many live streams and produce this many videos. So thanks a lot. If you're interested in joining, we could drop a link on the screen in the chat right now that you could check out and follow that link and join the channel and get some special perks too. Anyways, thanks to everybody else too for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing this. Check out the merch store and also drop a like on this video. Thanks, every little bit helps. We will be back in a couple minutes.
I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat.
Oh, I was gonna hang on. I was gonna change the brightness. All right. Is that a little less hot? Went from 2.8 to 3.2. Probably not that much of a difference. A third of a stop, right? I don't know, Rick. You tell me. So you guys were talking about the studded tires, which yeah, Large has more experience with. But didn't you also feel, Large, that the really big ones were a little too aggressive that you used to have on the what was that all city you had with the that speckled mountain bike all city? Which you had the really aggressive ones. Didn't you feel like they were too slow if you weren't on the snow? Yeah, no. So, just for reference too, I know Dylan, you're talking about the float, but me and Large went and rode, like Hampton and stuff, and I was on the twos, and there were some spots where the sun had really iced stuff up that was sketchy, but in general, like we were riding in the snow, pretty fine. Uh, there are times though where if it gets really deep, my tires are not wide enough, and I feel like I'm getting bogged down, and then I try and ride in the tracks of the people in front of me. But oh yeah, we do have the smokes in the bean. There's the bean. And the smokes. Erin managed to get a picture of the smokes where she doesn't look quite as large as she is. Oh, Large said the Electric Queen. That's right. I totally, yeah, couldn't think of that. Well, you guys know me. But yeah, the Electric Queen. He said he didn't care for the 3-inch tire in general for everyday riding, but the 3-inch studs were fantastic. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I guess I couldn't quite remember what you were saying about it, but those are the most aggressive tires I'd ever seen. Like the studs were like mounted way up on the, like I remember like way up on the treads. Where these ones, they're a little more. This is still an aggressive, you know, tire, obviously, but not like those were. And the studs are a little more Uh, these are like a little better, like I think more commuter designed, and maybe that's part why the cost is more effective. But so when you are riding on the concrete, you still hear them and feel them, but they push in a little more. So Aaron said her cat's not a chonker. Don't believe her. Tony said Otis gave him some Michelin star grips to run this winter. No studs, but apparently has snow ice specific tread pattern. I believe there can be um, a good snow pattern for rubber tires. I don't believe that rubber period is going to be good on ice. Like, and I'm not trying to put. Oh, I remember these. I have seen these. Here they are. Yeah, I could totally believe they would work in the snow. I I don't trust anything without steel studs on the ice. That's personally. I've hit some ice where it's just like I've put a foot down and even I'm still sliding. And yeah, ice scares me. Snow is different. I could, you know, snow on bike trails is especially different than snow on roads too. But let's see what they say about them. Well, I don't know. I don't need sizes. Uh, 35 and 40, 700 by 35 or 700 by 40. Otis he had this, I think it was this Nishiki, right? Large that he put like 32 or 35 um, millimeter studded tires on. And they did have the effect of like giving him that grip. But we rode out to Kent on the Freedom Trail, and that's a paved bike path for anyone not around here. Pretty straight, mostly flat, paved trail. And the thing, I think this goes to maybe even Dylan's point, is about trying to want the wider ones, is that the narrower ones, like there were still underneath the snow, some footprints had been beaten into the ice below. And so even though it gave him some grip, he was still just getting, like, he was exhausted. He was getting, like, beat up on that bike. They were small. I mean, they weren't bigger than 35, maybe larger members. They might have been 32. But that's where I feel like you need to get up for some of the stuff is unrideable in the winter. Like our towpath, if it gets like a little bit warm after snow and a bunch of runners and walkers and hikers are out there and then it refreezes, like it's unrideable. It's unrideable on anything. And Otis has said like, no, you could ride it on a fat bike. And me and Large have talked about this. Like there are some conditions on the bike trails that just become completely unrideable no matter what you have going on, and you're better off hitting the road or trainer or not riding. But yeah, the bike trails, the bike paths, the multi-use trails, footprints that get frozen in could make it. It's just no fun. You're getting nowhere. You're bouncing around everywhere. Even with studded tires, you're not keeping it upright. So that's not my opinion. That's a fact. I mean, I have now for a few years ridden in all the conditions, and there's some times where bike trails and bike paths are completely unrideable. But there are still times where, to me, it's steel studs or not going outside because of an icy condition. So Rick said Smokey needs a larger emoji. Yeah, Smokey needs a sticker or a GIF at this point. Yeah, ruts too, Rick. So there are times when you go out and like a couple fat bikes have gone out in the snow and it might be like a fresh snow. And then by the time we go out riding, the temperature has dropped enough that the fat bike tires will be like almost like iced in. And so if they were like good riders who kept it straight, there's times where I could go out and actually ride in the fat bike tire tracks, but there's some times where they're like this and you hit the ridge of a fat bike tire track in those kind of conditions that I'm describing, and it's almost like you're hitting a curb in the summer and you'll wipe out. There's a lot of times where then I jump out of that and I would rather ride in that harder, crusty snow stuff and put more effort in and push through. Like, yeah, you get in those ruts sometimes and it's impossible. Pudgy said he disagrees with unrideable. So, no, I stand by that. And I rode down, I made a members video about going down to the towpath last year. And, and I 100% went down there and I'm like, winter bike, not trying to go fast, don't care. I got like 50 feet, literally turned around, shouldered my bike like it was like it was not rideable. I mean, it was 4 mile an hour rideable. To me, that's not rideable. I could walk at that pace. Like you're saying, unpleasant. It's more than unpleasant. You know, to me, it's not worth it. I guess. I mean, maybe anything is rideable if you try hard enough. But if you're going 4 or 5 miles an hour, you know, why bother? I mean, if I can't ride my bike faster than I could walk, to me, I guess everyone has their own degrees of stuff, but to me, I consider that unrideable. Like, if I could just go for a hike at the same pace I could ride my bike, I'd rather go for a hike. You know, I think I was just trying to go downtown to the bike shop, and it would have taken me, you know, an hour instead of 15 minutes. Yeah, get those cross country skis out. Oh, have you guys seen those? I don't know if I talked about them, but Susan, who's the other photographer who works here, I was telling her last year how I felt like cross country skiing would be something I liked when the conditions were right to go to the hiking trails and do that instead of trying to ride when, in my opinion, the trails are unrideable. And she gave me a pair, and they're really old school, but like why like anything like cycling, don't invest if you don't know if you're going to like it. Unfortunately, the boots are too small and they're like an old school style. I do want to see if I could, and I'm sure I can eBay and find something that was in my side that worked with these old skis. And then, for those of you who know who Greg Milo is, he told me he had.
Rick Urbanovsky super chatted $5. Fat bottom smokies make the rocking world go round.
I hope Aaron's still in here for that one. So yeah, then I put up on Facebook that I needed ski poles. And then, like I was saying, like in February we got some snow, and then it just cleared up, and we didn't really get any more. So I never got the. So I stopped looking for boots. I never got to ride them. But these ski poles that Greg gave me, I thought they were a joke at first, but I guess they are like old school. I showed them to Susan, who gave me the boots and skis, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen ski poles covered to look like this, like a faux version, but those are the real thing." These things are actual bamboo, like, and I know nothing about skiing, so but yeah, these are some. I need to get dressed up like totally ridiculous. Obvious. I mean, I dress up pretty ridiculous anyways, and go out with this setup I have. It would be so funny to pass some other cross country skiers out there with this setup I got going. So let me show you what the boots look like. Something just fell down over there and scared the living bejesus out of me. Whoa, tripped on my bike rack. Yeah, so these are the style boots for, I mean, yeah, like super vintagey. But yeah, I could not squeeze my foot into them. But yeah, I guess you just like pop the thing in to hit the clips on the skis. If I do it, I'll definitely make a video about me going out there and falling down all over the place and having a ridiculous experience of trying to teach myself how to cross country ski. But it's something I do want to try, though. So I'm passing them in the other direction, Lanky. You know. Yeah. The spot, Lanky, you probably are I would assume you're familiar with that. That I do see where other people cross country ski, and it comes into my mind is where I'd want to go is Horseshoe Pond, but obsolescence is getting my back on the towpath. Like when it does get unrideable, there we do avoid it, but. Smoke too many tacos, it sounds like, for sure. Smokes loves the human food. And she does bite me every time I go over there. But yeah, so Pudgy, I'm wondering, do you guys, because I'm thinking of all the Columbus bike paths, like there's just something about like the towpath and that crushed limestone, the way the footprints get frozen in there, yeah, it's just absolutely brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. It's worse than like the off-camber gravel we ride in, the summer. It's just horrible, horrible. Aaron's cat Smokey likes me sometimes. One, if I have food, this cat is like right up on my lap trying to get some of it. Two, in the mornings, if I'm sleeping over at Aaron, she's usually pretty cool with me petting her and hanging out. But yeah, when I first get there, she sniffs my hand and then she tries to take a huge bite out of me. Large said 4 miles per hour is rideable. There's definitely unrideable bits around here at certain times, though. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think of Ratsmith from a few years ago where instead of riding the towpath, we went all the way through Highland Square and then down into the Cuyahoga Valley because we were going, to Arche for our Ratsmith ride. And nobody wanted to go down on the towpath. Be a roadie in the winter, it's easier. Yeah. Like I said, I really enjoy like a fresh snow, 28, 30 degrees, like towpath south. It's awesome. It's peaceful if the moon's out. Like if you got a good snow and then the moon's out, you don't even need to turn your headlights on. I like that a lot. Like for a while, like I said, like winter does wear on me after a while, but in Columbus, the paths get cleared daily. In Akron, in the city, they've started to clear the bike path areas, but like between like Akron and Cleveland, like in the Cuyahoga Valley on the crushed limestone, nobody's doing anything about those. So again, I'll say like some stuff I do believe is virtually unrideable, but like Large just said, 4 miles per hour is rideable. Okay, I don't enjoy it. I'm not going to go on a trail where I can only move at 4 miles per hour. I don't enjoy it. So that's a better way to put it, I think. But there are times when the towpath is virtually unrideable, barely able to move and go anywhere because the footprints are so frozen in ice that not only are you bouncing around, it's hard to get traction even with studs because your tires just aren't contacting enough. So, but yeah, either way, some of it is like just not fun to ride. Some of it gets close to unrideable. What was my point with that? I was gonna pull up it was making me think of pulling up a video where I think I show it, but I can't remember. Let me turn down the desktop audio and pull this up here, because it's called Snow Fail, so I gotta assume this is the time I'm talking about. Oh. Let's see what the date on this is. Is there a way to see that? February 17th. Okay, so this was that late season snow that we got. I think what's going on here is there's a bunch of fresh snow that is sitting on top of icy footprints. So I thought that the fresh snow would give me enough traction with the studs to be able to ride. And then when I tried to do it, it turned out that I was getting bounced around and slipping from what was underneath. You can see I'm already all over the trail though, because I'm a pretty good bike handler, and you can see that I cannot keep my front wheel straight. Hey, what's up, Gary? How's it going? Oh, that's right, Lanky. I think we might have been. Did we chat about this on Instagram or maybe even in this video? But I think I was riding with a microphone hooked up on my lapel underneath my jacket, so I think I was commentating while I was attempting this ride. Oh yeah, there's a break off of the towpath. There was a detour on the towpath for 4 years here, and I think instead of trying to ride, what I do is I go up this detour and I just ride the road because it was so miserable. So again, is it rideable? Yeah, I'm on my bike, but I was hating life, just hating it. And here I'm not riding anymore. As you can see, I'm getting off. So getting off the bike, large. But yeah, I'm pushing it. I'm pushing the bike here. Yeah, as you can never see with the wide angle GoPro, this is uphill, probably just 4 or 5. It's a little steep cut off the towpath, but and again, this didn't. And so, like you're saying, Pudgy, this didn't stop me from riding my bike. It just stopped me from riding on the bike trail. I just went over to the roads, which were still, as you could see, it's snowing out. There was still snow on the roads, but it just didn't have these frozen in footprints that make it completely just yeah, okay, it's actually fairly clear here, but yeah, like I said, it doesn't keep me from riding. It just keeps me from riding the trails, which just get completely miserable. So, yeah, look, with my studded tires, I still made that turn through the slush. I was still comfortable. And then I think the trails were cleared when I got downtown, or had at least been plowed at some point so they were rideable again. So this is within the Akron city limits. Nope, looks like I'm dead in the water here too. Turning around. Yep. Back to the roads. So they had not cleared the Akron Pass here. So. Oh man, this is already making me feel like I am not looking forward to this. Did I lose my focus here? Sure did. Oh, heading to Missing Falls, apparently. Pudgy said, cool cutter is a screw and stud made for ice riding. With tubeless, they can be used on bike fine, and you get all the traction you need. Yeah, how much sticks out? Because like I was saying before, one thing I do like about these is they're still like what I'm doing in this video. They're not the best, but they still work on pavement, you know. So like, you know, they're definitely not normal road tires, but you're not that uncomfortable doing this kind of thing as well. Should I give a plug to channel membership? This is the kind of bonus footage and videos that channel members get, especially in the winter. All right, Aaron, good night. Talk to you tomorrow. Oh, good luck, Lanky, with Turbo Gravel. Hey, Lanky, before you go, are you going to go to the Ohio Cyclocross Championships in Peninsula? If you're not already out, that's one thing to bring up too. December 5th in Peninsula, Ohio Cyclocross Championships. I'm planning to ride out, hopefully weather permitting. How meta, or what is that they say? My video was on the screen in the bike shop when I rode in. But yeah, December 5th, Peninsula, what is that, Camp Manitowoc? So want to go down and watch that, and ride out there to it as well. But so if anyone from around here is into that. Oh, cool. Like you're actually going to race the non-championship, non-points race. Sweet. Be a good time to go get some photos and video as well. I was just talking to Aaron about that tonight, as a matter of fact. Because I'll get back from Philly, have a couple days to try and hammer out my work, and then head over there. On a single speed folding bike, Dylan. Nice. Krampus Cross. Yeah, that's what they're calling it. And then a guy both me and Lanky know is the defending champion, so he should be there. Oh, here it is. I found it on Bike Rag. Dylan, you're out. All right. Good night, Dylan. Oh, you have a 9 a.m. start. Oh, dang. That is early. Especially for riding out on December 5th. But, oh, lost focus. I'm still going to try and make that. I'd like to see your race as well. Let's see if we get that back. What are you doing? Right here. Manual focus time. There we go. Manual focus close enough. I'll pull this up here. Krampus Cross at Manitowoc Scout Camp, Ohio State Cyclocross Championships. Event website, that's what I want to see. Now, Summit Freewheelers are the hosts of this. Now we're in Facebook. Come on, they don't have any. Where's the schedule? It's an online event. Come on. Maybe I was in the right spot to begin with. Oh, yeah. Didn't scroll down far enough. So, oh, yeah. Category 4-5 novice men's. 30-minute, 9 a.m. I was starting the women a minute later. Junior, so that's all one. Wave 2, Masters men 35 plus, 10 a.m. Masters women 35 plus 10:01. 11:15 for the men's 3-4. And then 1, 2, 3. So the championships are at 12:30. All right, cool. Oh, then the single speed fat bike tandem goofball race that we've all seen, or I made the video with Lanky and all that, is 3 o'clock. So hey, what's up, Joe G? How's it going? Yeah, so obsolescence, if you, I mean, even if you don't make it out for Lanky's race, it's still worth getting out there. I feel like if I don't, that's a long time to stand around. Yeah. So, or maybe go for a ride in the middle, which is what I usually do when I go watch a cross race. Um, yeah, 12:30 is the, kind of main event, as you would say, a 60-minute race. So that's probably more realistic for me on a Sunday morning. Pudgy was talking about I kind of changed subjects because Lanky was taking off. Where was his last comment? If you keep the side lugs, you could ride pavement. If you're only worried about off-road, cover your tires. So the studs we're talking about with the cool, what did you call it? Cool cutters. They said you could buy the screw-in studs that are road-friendly too. Same process with tubeless. Will get you 400 tires for less than 100. I know Dylan already took off, but it seems like that would be something that would be more up his alley anyways, like DIYing something like that. So. Oh, Rick's got his. Do we need to add a cat or a pet like Terry B has in his Discord? A pet section. So that's Rick's little buddy. What did you say the name was? Elliot. Elliot doesn't bite and he's thin. Just saying. Obsolescence said you haven't been. I'd have to check it out and haven't been to that camp in 25 years. Yeah, I don't. Man, I think Manitowoc's the Boy Scout camp, right? I think we used to poach those trails when I was young. When I first got my Trek 4900, that's now my winter bike. I think me and my buddy Wes used to poach the trails from over. Right, it's next to Kendall, I believe. We used to go. We were poaching those trails too because they're hiking trails. We had poached For the record, this is before there was a single mountain bike trail in the area. we would poach Kendall and then jump over to Manitowoc and ride those trails. So, did I get grease in my eye, or is that just a weird shadow? Oh, I did get grease in my. No? Am I dying? Yeah, obsolescent. Hit me up and maybe we can make some plans to ride out there. I think Large is interested. I know Aaron's interested. It'd be fun, just depending on what the weather's doing. Maybe ride the towpath out to Manitowoc and watch the race. Uh, Usually these events, you could bring your own beers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll post something. You know what? I'll post something in the meetup and ride section on Discord when I get back from Philly, and then we'll have a better idea of what the weather's going to look like too. That is the same camp. All right. Yeah, I'm picturing this. Oh, we could get into maps. Is Jay Dandy still here? Oh, there's Jay Dandy. Oh, okay. So here's Deep Lock Quarry. Oh, Truxell. Yeah. So this is right by. Um, Let me get my. Okay, Quick Road, Truxell Road. Oh yes, I could picture me and Aaron rode Truxell um, in the spring. Yeah, and they have the two. What can I think of what that entrance? Yeah, they have the. I know exactly where this is. These are definitely the trails we used to go over there and kind of ride into that camp back way back in the day. Oh yeah, the lake too. Why does it say Old Lake Manitowoc? Why does it look totally green? Yeah, so Kendall's on one side of the lake and the camp's on the other side. We jumped in that water one spring when it was only like, man, it must have been like 40 degrees outside. And there were people over at that camp looking over at us. Yeah, we were out mountain biking. Mountain biking before mountain biking was much of a thing around here. So that'll be cool to see. I wonder where they're going to do it. Maybe out here on the where it's grassy. They got some spots down here too. I think you guys meant this. Oh, I finally realized you. I don't know if my mic, probably not with this new setup, probably doesn't pick it up. Maybe it does. That said, I have a hot water heat here, radiant heat. My boiler is running right now. I came down here and I'm like, it is so cold. I've been so chilly the last few nights, like triple blankets. I went up and looked at my thermostat. It was on 64. So I'm not someone who turns this thermostat up super high. And the spot where I used to stream from, I used to talk about this. There's like a 12-foot radiator. So like I was baking because I have the only control even for the resident upstairs. But yeah, 64 is a little low for a big old 1920s building like this. So yeah, that could be kind of a cool meetup for anyone who's interested. Um, if the weather is really bad and like it's something I don't want to ride, then I could see getting down for Lanky's ride, which I'd like to. But again, wanting to see the state champs, I can't imagine that I would be able to hang around for 3 hours. Maybe play it by ear, but maybe try and plan for getting down there for the 12:30 event. Maybe we that would be pretty cool. So wait, when this is in, why does the lake look? Oh, okay, it's just got like slime on it because it's still water. Like you look here, you could see it's a lake. Then you go to the satellite and it barely even looks like a lake. Kendall. Oh, that's Kendall Lake. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. Yeah, so from where I live, this is an easy ride. It's just right down to the towpath and out there. Weather dependent, of course. Yeah, 10.8 miles taking the towpath route. I wouldn't do Portage though. What I do is I backtrack down to here, but still a little longer than that for me, the way I would ride it, especially in the winter. Tony, this is the fifth. So I believe you're having the next Yetis on the Loose ride the day before on Saturday. So that'd be, yeah, right, Yetis on the Loose December 4th, Saturday. This is December 5th, Sunday. So I don't know if Otis has said anything. Me and Large have talked about it. I don't know. It'd be cool to even take the Yetis down there because the defending Ohio State champ, this is what I was getting at before, is Dirty Rivers Cannondale rep, and also Bike Ohio, where Lanky shops. So he's the regional Cannondale rep. I saw him when I was up in Cleveland, and he won his race up there actually at the Heck of the North. Jay Ganser. Pull him up. Oh, cool. Yeah, Otis is thinking about riding out with the Yetis. If if Otis takes the Yeti ride out there, I might just plan to meet it as it comes through the dog park area. Yeah, this is Jay wearing the Ohio Champs jersey at Heck of the North. Large, you're going to go up early? Are you going to try and get up for the 9 o'clock one then? Like I said, so much is going to be weather dependent for me. Like, you know, well, I mean, we're not that crazy far out there. It'll actually show it now on the weather, but I thought I had Jay coming through that. There's Jay also. Did a little creek crossing. This was out on Whiskey Island. Are you going to race, Large? Are you going to jump in that race? You should, if you're going to ride up there early. It'll be nice and warmed up. Should I jump in that race? Should we race with Lanky? No, Erin's sleeping now. She already left, but I could see doing that if she drove out and then she could bring us warm clothes and our down jackets and all that kind of stuff to change into. Or maybe we make... Is Yonda in here? Maybe we make Yonda drive out with the tent and all our stuff. The Cannondale tent. Let's look at the weather. Why am I not... Oh, there it is. Again, I don't believe in looking at weather this far out, but... So right now, the prediction is 44 degrees and a 25% chance of rain. Again, that means nothing, but that's not crazy. So much will change between now and then, but yeah, as we get closer, we'll figure it out. Either way, it'll be fun to get up there with a group. And I got to assume the Joy Machines guys from up in Cleveland will be riding that race. So Large knows most of them better, but I know him a little bit as well. Talked to him at the Heck of the North. But what? How did this get on Top Chat? Large said he wants to catch the cowboy action, lanky action, lanky cowboy. Well, man, I'm losing my mind. There we go. Got a little. Now we need a lanky with a cowboy hat icon. Rook said the only thing worse than maps is weather maps, and the only thing worse than weather maps is weather maps that are not yet relevant. I agree. I wish Erin was here because she'll look at like 2 weeks out, and I'm like, we live in Northeast Ohio. That is, a couple weeks out is totally irrelevant. Large is the biggest liar with his little command there. This is the ultimate map guy. This is the guy who Large is the map guy. He just doesn't like my maps. What else do we got? What else did I write on this little This is quality. this is the content you were looking for. It would be, what do we need? We should all chip in like something like this, like brainstorming here, just spitballing, as the kids say. Do you think if we all pay Lanky's fee that he would go as the lanky cowboy instead of the lanky cyclist? We'll have to see. Well, I don't know. Lanky seems like a man of means, so maybe he doesn't need our money. But I think we should come up with a proposition that we pay his entry fee if he rides as the lanky cowboy. Like, talk about quality content. Rick's right. We need the science lecture in here. Kids do say that, Pudgy. I saw it before you retracted that message. The kids. Yeah, the kids. What now? What comes next? I think that's all I got. I think that... Rick, you don't have to chip in. Maybe he gets to drink from the fire hose, if anyone's a UHF fan. Yeah, that's it. That's all my notes. Oh, yeah, abort. So, yeah, I would just staple it to his hat, like Harrison Ford said he stapled his hat to his head in Indiana Jones. That makes no sense, but I watched an interview where that's what he said he did. But so Thanksgiving is obviously Thursday, and I'm not streaming on Thanksgiving. We're having a normie Thanksgiving, my immediate family. Um, Tuesday, I'll be watching Bob Dylan, so no stream on Thursday or Tuesday, but I'm driving back home on Thursday, and I'm planning to leave early, hopefully. I don't think I'm going to hang around on Thursday, depending on how wrecked I get with traveling through and Urbanowski. So hopefully we'll be streaming a week from Thanksgiving. Monday, I have our coffee outside video. It's going to be a little different. I shot a lot of R5 footage in slow-mo, so it's going to be like artsy, an artsy video. But yeah, flexing my cine muscles. But yeah, that's what's coming up next for the channel. Like I said, let's all hit up each other in the Discord, even if there's 2 different groups going out for the cyclocross race. That'll be cool. And then I think Tony is going to drop some details on his Yetis on the Loose ride, which will be a week from Saturday. So, yeah, and hope to see some people out on the trail this week. I'll be bouncing around the last couple days before I take off for Philly. So, Tony said was kind of hoping you'd have a sexy Velma emoji available by now. I think everyone's trying to forget that, Tony. But, yeah. Anyways, everybody, and, well, I know we've got some Canadians and, Chris from Toronto Blackball. And we, had some viewers from France today, which is freaking amazing. But yeah, and everyone in the U.S. have a happy Thanksgiving holiday. And yeah, I will see you all next week.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time I'm
Fitzwater photo.
In the awful way, holiday, holiday today, and all I want to say, holiday, holiday today. You catch the first train home, drives to be alone, yeah, and all I want to do is to get with you. Hey, the awful way, holiday, holiday today, and all I want to say, holiday, holiday today. You catch the first train home, drives to be alone, yeah, and all I want to do is to get with you. Hey!
Thank you video. I need to make a new one this summer.
Yeah!